and this one's a combat-oriented competitive deck building game, and in this game players are going to be playing as different factions. You're going to be building your starting deck by combining some of your faction-specific cards with some of the common cards offered in the game. But players are going to be building up their deck, gathering resources, and fighting to control different regions out on a map with the goal of gaining the most victory points at the end of the game. The thing that's interesting about that is that each faction can actually gain victory points a little bit differently, so you'll be more incentivized for one strategy than another depending on the faction that you're playing as. Each round, players are going to be refilling their hand up to 4 cards, and then players are going to be taking turns performing actions out on a shared action board. This is a really interesting aspect of the game because players are going to be placing cubes in limited spaces in 3 different categories on this board. The first category is for your assault actions, and this is how you gain more territories out on the main board because this is how you're going to be fighting, and players are going to be starting out in their own territories, but you'll be able to use this action in combination with your resources and cards in order to expand outward by paying the appropriate costs. The catch here is that if a territory you want to acquire is already controlled by another person, then players are going to be comparing their strength by their units and then adding different cards and tokens in order to try and come out with the most strength. And the winner is going to be gaining that territory, but then also an additional bonus for winning a player battle. Gaining a territory is really nice because not only do you gain the victory points for it, but you can also gain a passive special ability that you'll be able to use so long as you still control that territory. The other actions are a little bit more straightforward because we have the reorganize action, which is going to give you a few different ways to manipulate your cards. And then we have the training actions, which are going to give you all sorts of different ways to gain new cards into your hand or even get cards out of your hand. And the cards that you do have in your hand are pretty much there to augment the actions that you take out on the board because those cards can be used for their special ability in order to improve the actions you're performing, or instead they can be used as resources in order to pay for the actions that you're trying to take. A round comes to an end once all the players pass sequentially, and then the rounds continue like this until the end of the game, and then the player with the most victory points is going to be the winner. I don't have a link to their campaign page for this one, but they do have a way that you can sign up on their website, so I will leave a link to that. You can find that in the description down below.